Imagine you're standing in the office of the dean of a prestigious architecture school. You've just been expelled. The dean leans forward and offers you a second chance. Come back next year, he says. Humble yourself. Do things our way. Now imagine looking him dead in the eye and saying, I don't want to come back. I have nothing further to learn here. Most people would crumble. They'd apologize. They'd conform. Howard Roark laughs. That image, a man laughing the morning he gets expelled, is the first thing Ayn Rand gives us in the Fountainhead. And it's the most important image in the entire book. Because this novel isn't really about architecture. It's about something far more explosive. The war between the individual and the collective. Between the person who creates and the world that wants to own them. Published in 1943, The Fountainhead was rejected by 12 publishers. When it finally came out, it became one of the best-selling novels of the 20th century. Millions of people read it and felt for the first time that someone had put words to something they had always felt but never dared say out loud. Let's dive in. The novel opens by splitting its world in two. On one side, Howard Roark, expelled from the Stanton Institute of Technology for refusing to design buildings in the approved historical styles. Gothic, Renaissance, Classical, take your pick. His teachers called his work insane. He calls their standards copies of copies of copies. Roark sees architecture the way a living thing sees itself. Every building, he believes, must grow from a single idea. Its form must follow its function. Its material must dictate its shape. He refuses to bolt a Greek column onto a steel building just because people expect it, and he refuses to apologize for that. On the other side, Peter Keating, graduating at the top of his class the very same day Roark is thrown out. Keating is handsome, charming, socially brilliant, and completely hollow. He doesn't know what he wants. He never has. Every decision in his life, his career, his relationships, his opinions, has been made by asking, what will people think? His mother wanted him in architecture, not painting, so he's an architect. His firm's senior partner needs flattering, so Keating flatters. His rival needs undermining, so Keating undermines. He is spectacularly successful at the game of pleasing others. And he is, Rand shows us, quietly miserable. Keating gets a coveted job at the famous firm of Francon and Hire in New York, where the prestigious architect Guy Francon builds elaborate tributes to ancient styles and hasn't drawn a real building in years. Keating thrives here. He's promoted fast. He manipulates, he flatters, he gradually elbows out colleagues. By the standards of New York's architectural world, Peter Keating is a star. Meanwhile, Howard Roark takes the only job he wants, a draftsman for Henry Cameron, a once legendary architect now forgotten by the world, working from a dingy office near the Battery. Cameron was ahead of his time. He saw what skyscrapers could be. He tried to build them honestly, in straight vertical lines that expressed the steel and height inside. The world rejected him for it. Now he drinks and broods and barely gets commissions. But Roark sees something in that man's broken office that no one else sees: integrity. Cameron sees something in Roark too, something he hasn't seen in decades. He yells at him, curses him, tells him he's ruining his life. Then he hires him. The contrast is already crystal clear. Keating's entire life is a response to others. Roark's life is a declaration. Now enter the novel's true villain, Ellsworth Toohey. If Peter Keating is a man who gave up his soul without knowing it, Toohey is a man who makes it his mission to take yours. Toohey is the most powerful architecture critic in New York, writing for the newspaper empire of media mogul Gail Wynand. He is witty, charming, beloved by the public, and revered by intellectuals. He preaches humility, brotherhood, collective service, and the sacrifice of personal ego for the greater good. He is, on the surface, everything a good man should be. He is also, Rand reveals layer by layer, one of the most deliberately sinister minds ever put to paper. Toohey does not want power over buildings. He wants power over souls. He understands, with the cold clarity of surgeon, that the only way to rule men is to make them feel small. Preach selflessness, he reasons. Make men feel guilty for every personal desire. Elevate the mediocre, so excellence has nowhere to stand. Kill reverence, and you kill the hero in man. Empty a person's soul, and the space is yours to fill. We watch him do exactly this to Peter Keating. Over years of manipulation disguised as friendship, Toohey slowly drains Keating of whatever last traces of authentic ambition he had. He steers Keating's choices, praises him falsely, suggests the right marriage prospects and the wrong ones, and keeps Keating perpetually confused, dependent on Toohey's approval to know what he thinks, feels, or wants. But when Toohey first encounters Howard Roark at a party, he doesn't even want to be introduced. He just stares from across the room, because Toohey recognizes, in an instant, the one thing his entire philosophy cannot touch: a man who genuinely does not care what others think. Rand also introduces the character of Dominique Francon in this section, Guy Francon's cold, brilliant, achingly beautiful daughter. She writes a celebrated column on architecture, and she lives in a kind of proud despair, convinced that everything noble in the world will eventually be crushed by mediocrity. She doesn't fight for what she loves. She destroys it herself, she thinks, before the world can. That summer, Dominique retreats to her father's country estate, near a granite quarry. And one morning, looking down from the edge of a cliff into the pit, she locks eyes with a worker below, a man with orange-red hair and the face of someone who has never had a doubt about his own existence. Howard Roark, working in the quarry because his firm closed, doing physical labor without complaint, without self-pity. What follows between them is one of the most complicated love stories in American literature, volatile, philosophical, and deeply tied to everything the novel is arguing. Dominique is drawn to Roark with a pull she can neither explain nor escape. She tries to hate him, she tries to destroy his career, and she falls violently in love with him. Not despite his strength, but because of it. Toohey, sensing the power of the man he has never met, devises a plan. He convinces a wealthy, spiritually confused patron named Stoddard to commission Roark to build a temple of the human spirit, to be built exactly as Roark wishes, with no interference. Then, when it is complete and extraordinary, Toohey organizes the public destruction of it. Every major critic, every celebrated name in architecture, every columnist Toohey has ever cultivated, they all descend on the Stoddard temple with their pens. It is denounced as cold, godless, arrogant, and human. The court orders Roark to pay damages. The temple is converted into a home for subnormal children. Roark accepts the verdict without breaking. Dominique, watching it happen, is more devastated than he is. She concludes that the world will never deserve him. And in her despair, she does the cruelest thing she knows how to do. She marries Peter Keating. Now the novel gives us its most tragic character, Gail Wynand. Wynand is the owner of the Banner, New York's most powerful tabloid empire. He came from Hell's Kitchen, built himself up from nothing through sheer force of will, and now commands the attention of millions of readers. He is brilliant, ruthless, private, and deeply unhappy. Wynand believes he controls public opinion. He thinks that because he decides what the masses read, he holds the leash. What he has not realized, what he will come to understand too late, is that a leash has a noose at both ends. He has spent his career giving the public what it wants: sensationalism, scandal, sentimentality, mob emotion. And in doing so, he has become their servant. Every time he pointed the crowd at a target, the crowd grew stronger. Every time he compromised his own judgment for circulation, he surrendered a piece of himself. He does not know it yet. He thinks he is the master. Wynand meets Dominique and is transfixed by her. He pursues her, eventually marrying her, knowing full well she doesn't love him the way he loves her. He is too proud to care. He believes he can own everything. He commissions a magnificent house in the country and hires the best architect he can find for it. He hires Howard Roark. In Roark, Wynand finally meets his equal. The two men form an immediate, profound friendship. Wynand recognizing in Roark the version of himself that might have been had he not chosen the path of power through compromise. They sail together, talk for hours, and Wynand privately considers Roark the greatest man he has ever known. Dominique, living in the house Roark designed, moving through rooms built to her proportions, surrounded by the fingerprints of a man she loves in a marriage to a man she respects, is in her own particular kind of torment. Meanwhile, Peter Keating, now declining, his professional reputation crumbling, his talent always borrowed and never his own, comes to Roark with a desperate plea. He has been offered the chance to design Courtland homes, a large government housing project. He knows he cannot do it. Nobody can figure out how to make the mathematics work, how to build something decent for the people who need it within an almost impossibly small budget. Roark can. He has been quietly working on this very problem for years. Not for charity, not for glory, because the engineering puzzle itself fascinated him. Roark agrees on one condition, non-negotiable. The building will be built exactly as he designs it. Not one column moved, not one window changed. Keating's name on it. All the money to Keating, all the credit to Keating. In exchange for one thing, his work done his way. It is, Rand shows us, the only form of selfishness Roark has ever known, and the purest form of self-respect. Keating tries. He really tries. But the bureaucratic machinery of a government project is exactly what Roark predicted. Officials suggest changes. Committees recommend modifications. Two architects named Prescott and Webb, satellites of Toohey, are brought in to improve the design. Walls are moved. Ornamentation is added. The Courtland Roark designed is mutilated into something he never drew. Roark doesn't rage. He doesn't go to the press. He doesn't sue. He detonates it. At night, with dynamite, Howard Roark blows up Courtland homes. He is arrested on spot. Now the world finally has what it always wanted. The arrogant creator brought to his knees in a courtroom. Toohey, who had engineered the entire Courtland situation to trap Roark, who had obtained the secret contract between Roark and Keating and handed it to the district attorney, is triumphant. Even Gail Wynand's own newspaper, The Banner, runs against Roark. Not by Wynand's choice. His managing editor allowed Toohey to plan a condemnation while Wynand was out of town. What follows is one of the most extraordinary decisions in newspaper history. Wynand, returning to find his paper, has betrayed Roark, fires the men responsible, and runs editorial after editorial defending Roark. His reporters walk out on strike. His advertisers cancel. His circulation collapses. His investors revolt. Wynand does not bend. For weeks, alone, with a skeleton crew, his wife working alongside him without being asked, he keeps the Banner running. It costs him everything. The paper is dying. The board forces him to capitulate or close. He capitulates. In a moment that is one of the most devastating in the novel, Wynand walks alone through the streets of New York at night and finally understands. He never controlled the crowd. They controlled him. Every choice to compromise was a debt accumulating. The leash had always been around his own neck. He closes the Banner. At the trial, Roark waives his right to call witnesses. He takes the stand alone, and then he speaks. His speech, and you need to read it in full because no summary can do it justice, is Ayn Rand's complete philosophical manifesto. Roark traces the entire history of human progress back to a single figure, the Creator. The first man to make fire, the first to build a wheel, the first to imagine something the world had not yet seen. These men were always opposed, always persecuted, always feared, because their existence implied that the rest of the world was behind them. No creator was prompted by a desire to serve his brothers, Roark says. His truth was his only motive, his own truth, and his own work to achieve it in his own way. He draws the central distinction of Rand's philosophy between the creator and the second-hander. The creator faces nature directly. The second-hander faces nature through other people. He needs others' approval to function, to feel real, to act. He lives second-hand, and it is the second-hander, Roark argues, who invented altruism, not as a virtue, but as a weapon. Preach selflessness, and you make every individual feel guilty for existing on their own terms. You destroy independence. You level excellence. You create dependency. The creator is not selfless. It is the whole secret of his power. He explains why he destroyed Courtland. He had made an agreement. His design or nothing. That agreement was broken. His work was taken and mutilated without his consent, and then the world expected him to stand by and accept it in the name of the common good. But he is not an altruist. His work is not a gift to be redistributed. It is him. The jury deliberates for less than an hour. Not guilty. The endings are as precise as the philosophy. Peter Keating is finished. He confesses everything on the stand, that Roark designed Courtland, that he couldn't. He leaves the novel not destroyed, but emptied. A ghost. The most terrifying thing Rand shows us about a life lived for others is that, at the end, there's nothing left. Ellsworth Toohey is reinstated at the Banner by court order, only for Wynand to shut the Banner down that same night at 9 o'clock precisely. Toohey finds a new newspaper and immediately begins asking his new employer, what's his particular god? What would he go to pieces without? He never stops. He can't. Gail Wynand, having lost everything, commissions one final act of defiance, the Wynand Building, to be the tallest skyscraper in New York. He hands it to Roark with no conditions, no meetings, no involvement. Build it as a monument to that spirit which is yours and could have been mine. It is the most honest thing Wynand has ever said, and the saddest. Dominique, finally free from her own prophecy of doom, from the marriage that was a punishment she inflicted on herself, becomes Roark's wife. She walks to the Wynand Building's construction site on a spring morning and rides the open hoist up its side, rising above the city, above the skylines and the churches and the courthouses, until there is nothing above her but ocean and sky, and the figure of Howard Roark, standing at the top, waiting. The Fountainhead forces a single question. Who are you living for? Ayn Rand argues, loudly, brilliantly, and without apology, that your first allegiance is to the integrity of your own mind. That the creator who builds, thinks, and acts from within himself is not selfish in the ugly sense. He is the only person who actually gives anything to the world, because you cannot distribute what has not been made. The novel is also a profound warning about the second-hander's power. Toohey doesn't win in the end, but he almost does. And the tools he uses are everywhere. Guilt, altruism weaponized, the elevation of mediocrity, the destruction of standards. Rand wants you to recognize them, whether you agree with every word of Roark's courtroom speech or not, and many readers don't. The questions it raises are ones you'll keep thinking about. Who designed the building you're living in? Who gets the credit? Who gets the soul?